I'm pleased to speak in favour of this bill, which I believe will lead to many new exciting developments in the marine economy. The establishment of this authority will ensure that these developments will be done in a well-managed way, in a delicate balance between sustainable development and managing our environment for the good of all humans and the millions of other species of flora and fauna that we share our land and sea with. Ireland has a long and proud tradition of marine enterprise and exploration. As a TD for the coastal county of Clare, we must remember that 75% of our population live in coastal counties. I believe this new authority will be of benefit to all of us, and I will be supporting this bill. This new authority will research, plan and manage a maritime area 7 times the size of our landmass. The main basis of this piece of legislation is contained in the Marine Strategy Framework, Part 1 of Ireland's Marine Strategy, which was published by our government just over a year ago. This is a very comprehensive, valuable document. I know that a lot of the records contained in this report were recorded and observed by the Marine Institute, and I wonder if this body is going to be absorbed into this new authority, or will it remain an independent entity? Ireland's location in the North Atlantic has given us a very favourable climate since the end of the Ice Age, but with increased industrialisation over the last 200 years, we have endangered not only ourselves but our climate, which itself we now know is a very delicate balance. I believe that the creation of this new authority will bring vast rewards for all those involved in the marine. We now know that an increase of 1 degree centigrade can lead to a 7% increase in moisture content of tropical storms. We have seen the effects in some of the recent storms and subsequent flooding in many of our towns and rural areas. In recent years, Ireland has spent millions in constructing flood defences for many of our cities or towns throughout the country. Clare has a proud tradition in the provision of electricity for the entire state in world-leading headline projects that have been game changers. In the very first years of the state, 20% of the entire budget was invested in building the Ardnacrusha electrical project and the creation of the national grid. It provided enough electricity to power the entire state. After only a few years, it provided 80%, and now only produces 2%. Following the oil crisis, the state decided to reduce its dependence on the use of oil to produce electricity and built the coal-burning Moneypound Power Station, which over the last 40 years has provided up to 45% of our electricity needs. But the scientific advice has advanced, and it's now essential that we reduce our carbon emissions and use green energy to power our energy needs. It is with great satisfaction that I see the regeneration plans for the Moneypound Power Station by the ESB, along with international partners in the world-leading headline Green Atlantic project. They are planning to transform this location into a strategic base with its deep-sea port facility to provide green energy for Ireland with the strategic use of new technology, offshore floating windmills to provide all of Ireland's electricity, and in the future exporting this clean green energy. Work on this project has already started, and a large part of the infrastructure is already in place. Within this project is also the development of a hydrogen generation plant, a green hydrogen generation plant, which is expected to power, fuel or ships, trains, heavy goods vehicles, and probably in the foreseeable future planes, which will be of massive assistance to the nearby Shannon Airport. While mentioning the Shannon Estuary, I must also highlight the very exciting Rural Regeneration and Development Fund application lodged by Clare County Council and supported by Enterprise Ireland to the Department of Rural and Community Development for the establishment of a new marine training centre in Kilrush. I understand that it will provide marine training safety to all personnel involved in maritime operations, including our rescue services and those who will be constructing and servicing these new wind turbines, floating wind turbines, and all other people involved in the marine sector. In recent years, we have seen a number of important strategic developments held up or challenged by what is referred to as serial objectors, who maybe for ideological or other reasons have lodged numerous objections. And I'm just wondering if this legislation contains any provisions to address these concerns being addressed in a balanced and fair way to all sides. I further question, I wonder, is whether the issue of commercial rates being liable to a local authority, has that been addressed? Another issue is if this authority will have responsibility for the hundreds, if not thousands, of marine wrecks at the bottom of the sea in the administrative area of this new authority. One last point, under Section 36 of this Act, I see that the authority is answerable to the Minister, but does this include the answering of parliamentary questions? So in conclusion, I want to state again that I support this bill. I think it will facilitate these headline projects that I've mentioned in County Clare, and I look forward to its safe passage through the House.
Thank you, Deputy.